This is a bit of a response video. Kevin Geary, a professional website developer, tried to make a proper, scalable and maintainable website the other day. Using Gutenberg, I wasn't able to do so in a satisfactory/timely manner. Maybe I can help with that. I'm not a pro at all, far from it. But I love the methodology that Kevin uses to build his sites, judging from his content. And I think I might be able to build a website using what I currently understand as best practices. I'm reading from my notes, sorry for that. Using best practices for web design using Gutenberg. Hopefully tackling some of the issues that Kevin ran into with his video. Mainly how to get full width and yeah, that kind of stuff. How to set all the width so that things don't jump all over the place like they're not supposed to. Kevin, if you're watching, thank you for all that you do. All the great content you put out there. I hope you might still get some value out of this video, and I'm curious what your thoughts are about the end result. So let's get started. Notes out of the way for a bit. So the general workflow would be develop a website locally using local WP. This is what Kevin shows in one of his videos, and I very much like it because I always had some issues with making lots of staging or subdomains on my hosting, with PHP versions being outdated or just generally things breaking without they're supposed to be breaking. So I develop locally now. I set up a blueprint website inside local WP, and then I deploy the website once I'm done to my hosting website. So we're going to be starting from vanilla WordPress, deleting standard plugins, themes, pages and sample posts and that sort of stuff. Create all the pages you might be using plus a test/development page, and that is useful for developing template parts /patterns, etc., what you might want to use on your website. After all the pages are created, I go to the WordPress general settings, reading, writing, that sort of stuff, and set the home and blog page settings. And I also change the 12 items per page over there. Why 12? Well, 12 is dividable by both 3 and 4. And I find that generally to be a good format, like either 2, 3 or 4 items per row for your cards. Then I will be installing all the plugins, creating custom post types. I assume by now everyone knows what a custom post type is, but just in case, real quick, your standard post, your standard blog is one post type, which shows up on your blog page. For every type of content you create, you should create a custom post type. You would use a plugin for that, such as Advanced Custom Fields. I use ACF. There's others such as Metabox or custom. Actually, that's not relevant. You can find that for yourself. And then you would populate each custom post type with 3 custom posts, so you have some stuff to show in your cards. Then you create your page templates. That's not your pages themselves. You created them a long time ago. Then you would create your card template, and then you would populate your pages with query loops, cards, and or whatever other type of static data you would want to put in there. The main structure would be your templates would display your pages use query loop blocks to display custom post content, and then you would use custom post types, so the very different kinds that you make, for the actual content. And I create the navigation menu at the end. And the reason for that is by default your navigation shows a page list, so all your pages show up there. It has the most, so a lot of pages that you probably don't want to see in there, and it has the most options to actually break stuff. So it's good to have a bigger menu than a smaller one, I think, because it makes it easier to spot issues early on. And plugin stack, that's relevant for later. So let's jump into local WP. Now I already created one that I've set up, but I'm gonna do the process real quick. This is local WP. I might provide a link if you can't find it. Maybe I'll do that in the YouTube thing. Plus, create a new site. You would choose your site name here. My awesome site, why not? There you go. Continue. I like to go for custom, and the reason I do that is because I always want to have the last version of everything. My hosting company gave me some issues when PHP became outdated, and then to update everything, all of a sudden my subdomains, well, they didn't play nice anymore. So I like when I develop locally, I like to take the last of everything. You would use your the username you want to use here, the password you want to use here, and the email that you would want to use to log in here. I'm not aware if you can change this afterwards, so use your real data here. And then you click add site and it will create a site. I've already done this, so I'm not gonna do this step again. And then you come here. You might be prompted to put in your root password to set up the server and all that. Same thing if you want the SSL trusted. Then I go to WP admin, you click on this and it opens a new tab in the last browser that you used. I've already done that, so I'm going here. Blueprint Gutenberg 01.local. This is your local site. It's vanilla WordPress, and from here we're going to get started. Plugins. Oh, there are no plugins currently available. That's cool. So they didn't install. Pages. I'm gonna quickly edit the sample page to see what is in here. Delete. Well, select everything and hit delete. Should delete everything. Maybe not. Delete. Shift Alt Z. Shift Alt Z. Shift Alt Z. Okay. Oh, Control Alt Z, that's why. Wrong shortcut. So, I'm gonna rename sample page to test page. And the reason I keep it as this is because I want to have a page where I can develop, well, patterns, basically. I go back to WordPress, I have a privacy policy. Let's take a quick gander at my cheat sheet again. Themes. I'm also going to delete my themes. Appearance, themes. By default you get like these kind of themes. All the ones that I'm not using, I delete. Alright, so I have only one theme, 2024. Next up I'm going to pages. Add a new page. And this is the first hiccup that I don't like. By default, I'm not aware if you can switch this off somewhere, but you get all these patterns that I do not want to choose. I want to choose blank. So home page, that's the first one. No featured image yet, I'm not going to bother with that. Home, I'm going to add a, there you go again. Seal this. Blog page, publish. That's all I'm doing. At the default pages that you use in pretty much every site anyway. About, from the About Us page. I don't like to put About Us or About Me because you never know, well, maybe it's for you, maybe it's for a team, maybe it's for whoever, so I like to keep it just a single word. Same with the contact page. Contact us, contact me, contact them. Just leave it at contacts. Alright. And now I'm going to create pages for all the custom post types that I will be creating. So I'm not going to go through all of them, but a couple. Projects is one. Next one would be, oh come on, would be something like services. Oh, I forgot a big one actually. Get rid of this again. I forgot one. I don't ever use, nowadays anyway, I don't ever use the default post, like the default post you would use to create blog items. I keep that as a backup, so I make a new one called either articles or blog posts. And it's just a page, and I'm never going to use that, but, or I am going to use that, sorry, mix it up. So I would create a custom post type called articles and use that before I would use the normal post type to create it. So you have the normal post type as a bit of a backup. So I'd create articles, create a new one. No, I do not want any default pattern. Testimonials. Publish. I think we got quite a few already. What else could we do? No, let's have a look. The more I make, the more I have to create as well. Pages, articles, blog, contact, home, project services, testimonials. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 custom post type pages I have right now, so that's fine. Go to settings, reading, a static page, and here you would set the home page you just created, and post page you create the blog page. This is a bit outdated, to be honest, because well, you can get any content to show up anywhere using the query loop block, and you don't really need a dedicated post page anymore in WordPress. The main difference between this page and any other page is that for this page, the content that shows up slash the query loops are defined in the template, whereas in any normal page, it would be in either a custom template or on the page itself. Another thing I changed is I put this to 12 items. This is, well, why not? So divisible by 4 and 3, so you could have like a row with 4 items or 3 items or 2 items, and I think that works quite well with most kind of cards. Here's another one, search engine visibility. While you're developing it, I'm gonna leave this off. When your site is light, you obviously want this one on. I don't have any standard operating procedures to develop stuff and then, which reminds me to switch this back on, so I'm gonna leave it, switch it back off I mean, so I'm gonna leave this off by default. Save the changes. Now, one more quick thing. Tagline, don't need one now, or just call it tagline. And the site title, and because we have HTTPS, we have an SSL, I like to make sure that it's HTTPS. This is not my date format, I like to use F. There you go, and this is a template I like to use. Time zone, just using the keyword, look for your time zone. And yeah, those are my main settings. Yes, advanced, yes, accept the risk. That's because I changed the HTTP and HTTPS. Maybe you can keep that as HTTP and then do that part for your hosting. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. Did I miss anything? Reading, writing. I don't have any other categories yet. No, that's fine. Now, media. I saw some different content creators using different settings from here, like 960 I think it was, and this would be 1920 if you want full width, and leave the thumbnail at 150. Another content creator uses this as empty so you don't get duplicates. Organize my uploads into months and years based calendars. I'm not sure if this is convenient or not, to be honest, but I'm going to use a plugin that you don't have to use. So I'm going to check this off because I will be organizing it into a different folder system. So save changes. Actually, not sure if I should do that for this. Yeah, save it anyway. All right, permalinks. Make sure you have the post permalink. And privacy, is there anything in here? Privacy policy page, we have one already, which is one of those pages that you would need if you're a business anyway, so it's here, then you can edit it. All right, let's get to the plugins. No plugins yet. So I'm going to start with uploading, so no. Let's look for ACF first, that would be the first big plugin. Advanced custom fields, make sure that you have this one, and not this one. This one sometimes changes spots, but you need the normal one, which is a free one. You can of course go for the extended, but you need like ACF Pro, which is a paid subscription based one. I'm gonna activate it already, why not? It's useful if you have all your plugins like in a folder so you can upload everything at once rather than look for it, but yeah. I'm not that fancy yet. I'm still a bit of a what's the term Kevin uses? I don't remember right now. Let me have a quick cheat sheet here. So the plugins I like to use. Oh yeah, create block theme. That's a big one. Create block theme. The reason we use this is because it has a font manager, because it allows you to export your themes, and it also allows you to set your independent, like create new style sets. So if you have a theme, you can create a complete new style set for it. And add a new plugin again. I shouldn't activate it. If I activate it, I have to go for all that again. Instant images, the icon block. Instance images allows you to bring in free commercially usable images, which is cool. What else? The icon block, yeah. Icon block is not something you need if you have something like Happy Files Pro, because it also allows you to upload SVG files. But I still like the icon block because it gives you a new block with just SVG icons. Like you can get an icon from, for example, a Google icon, just a text, and you paste the text in there, or they have a library as well. What's the other one again? So we have create block, ACF, instant images, icon block, admin columns. Admin columns is a nice one because it, for example, columns. This, come on. Admin columns. This allows you to see, for example, featured image inside your admin columns. Then the last one was all-in-one WP migration, I think. All-in-one. This one. We're not getting any fancy Gutenberg block plugins at the moment. It's just all the basics. Let's see in here, where is it? Happy Files Pro. This is a paid plugin. It's quite affordable, so I got it. It's very convenient. Install the Happy Files Pro. Go on the plugin installer. No, go to the regular plugins. Then I'm going to select all of them that I want to use. I'll leave the icon block off for now. I don't need it yet. And I'm going to bulk actions, activate everything. All right, we've got that set up. Let's start with ACF. We're going to go to post types, and I'm going to create a couple of new posts. I'm going to start with articles, singular label, article, scroll down, hierarchical, and advanced configuration. I'm going to switch on everything. You don't need everything, but if you would want to use it, it's there. Then here, dash icon, which opens up a new tab which shows you dash icons. Now for articles, I like to use this one, the document. I would copy it, paste it in here, and select it. URLs, I like to have an archive page for everything as well. Article it was, yeah. Like the name of it and archive behind it. That way you don't have any duplicates of weird namings with a page that exists and an archive page that would exist. That's basically it. There's a couple of other changes, like if you don't want anything to have a URL by itself, for example, if it's just a single items, you could, let's see, I think it's this one, you could switch it off. I'm not doing that, I'll just keep everything on. Articles, projects, project, hierarchical, advanced configuration. Maybe I speed up the video through this, maybe I'll leave it. Visibility, I already know the dash icon, so I'm just going to type in, it's hammer, third one. URL, archive, project archive, hit save changes, and you will see like the new items pop up here. Those are new post types. Create a new post type, just 2 more. And it automatically generates like post type key. If you change this, then the generation doesn't automatically happen again. So if I make a mistake here, I generally cancel the creation of the new post type and just make it again. It's like a few seconds and it doesn't really, otherwise you make the post type and you find out all of a sudden that, hey, all these labels down here are messed up and I don't want that. So general, switch them all on again. Because why not? Which one is this? Testimonials, right? Yeah, testimonials. And there's a dash icon for testimonials, so I use that. URL, archive, testimonial archive, save changes. And one more, and the reason I'm making another one. I'm not going to make all of them, but this one is a bit, because this one would generally have a bit of a different query structure as many of the others. Many of the others you can use some kind of a card to make it look nice, but this one you would make more of a list. At least I think a list would make more sense. We have, which one? Services dash icon list view. List view is the one I would use. Archive, come on. Service archive, save it. So we have all our custom posts. We have, what am I forgetting? Am I forgetting anything? No, let's go to the admin columns. Go to, from taxonomy, you would use your post types, articles. This is what you would see in the columns. I would want to add a column, and I would want to see a featured image and save it. Then I would go from articles to, well, pages can have featured images as well, so I want them there too. Featured image, save. Patterns, no. Posts, no, I'm not using them. Projects. Featured image, save. No, shoot, things have to pause. I have no idea what the call is for. Let's, alright, let's continue. So testimonials, add a column, featured image, save. Anything else in here? No, I think we got everything. Alright. Happy files, let's see. Happy files, now you have your license key. I have a license, obviously. I'm not gonna go for all of these. They're not that relevant to this tutorial, to be honest. Let's go for my cheat sheet for a moment. We have all our columns. All right, I think it's time to start setting up the templates. So, going back to my website, appearance, and the editor. First thing I do is go to templates. Here you can see all the templates used by the website. The general structure would be, you have your templates, your pages show, the content inside your pages is shown based on the templates that your pages are set to. And on your pages you would put query loops and static data to display your content. I think I've already mentioned that in here. Have I? Yeah, okay, that's a bit too early. So templates to display your pages. Pages use query loop blocks to display custom post content and custom post types for the actual content. And the navigation menu is last because by default it displays everything you might want to see or not see, which is good because you see more that way. Alright, I'm going to create a new template for the front page, which always shows for the front page. Get started. I do not want to choose a pattern. I want to start fresh. Okay, a couple of settings. I do like my top bar to be at the top. Global settings, global styles. This is a big one, but let's start with something else. Here's a list view. Right now it is empty, it has this paragraph, but the paragraph can change in whatever you want. So I'm gonna choose header to create a header block. You see a plus sign here. That means you would create something inside your header group. So if I create a new group here, I would create a second group. Let's delete it. I don't need it. Delete it. I don't need it. What you'd want is your header here, then your content, and then your footer. So if you see I'm circling over, this is my header group, and there's a plus sign beneath it. I click the plus sign beneath it, and I look for a group. And I get the group block, which is basically what will be your main content. I want a single layout, single container, and underneath that again, click outside of it, I get a footer. And I don't really like this option. You can choose, you can browse all the footers that you might want, but basically I just want an empty footer. So I could click browse all, or I could go to the plus sign here and look for it, then you get this. So let's do that part again. It creates the basic default footer, which is this one with a group inside and then with a selection of columns and paragraphs and all that stuff. And you can tweak this any way you want to. I'm not going to do that for this tutorial, except for one thing. The first thing I'm going to do is give every group, so I'm going to the settings for blocks. Template means the general template settings, block is block settings. These will become important later. I'm not going to touch them here. First I'm going to go to styles, background. The only reason I'm doing this is because I want to show, let's go here, what the default settings are. Let's give this a green color as well. Let's go to this group block and give it a grayish color, why not? By default you see there's a gap between everything. I do not want a gap. I want everything to be nice and tight and snug, which is a bit of an issue. So I go to the global styles, layout. This is a big one. In layout I want block spacing to be 0 rems. This made everything very snug together. That does create an issue, like let's make a heading for example. Heading 1 test, then some random paragraph and image. Why not? Did I select group? Apparently I did. Doesn't matter. Let's make a single block and let's give the block another color. I'll go back to this in a second. That's wrong. Let's just do this. So we have some very distinct different colors. Let's do one more thing. We have a logo here, site logo. Let's upload. Do I have a file here? No, let's just go here, directly here. Select file, here. And I can, I hope, get an SVG in here now. Yeah, let's do this one. Yep. Alt text, always use your, put your alt text. Made by Michiel, green, logo, SVG, something like this. Select it and choose your size. I'm gonna go with 150, and then I do not need that. Yeah, this is in a group. I don't know why that would be in a group. I'm gonna delete the site tag. I don't need that. And here in the footer, you can see the logo again. Make that 120 or something. There you go. Also, this group designed with WordPress. WordPress is awesome, but I generally don't need this part here. So delete that. So now we have our header section, we have our main content section, when we have our footer section. You can see that this is basically the width, and that's just a display thing. It's not a real gap here. You can set inner blocks use content width, and if you don't do that, it will jump to the full width of the site at the moment, because that it's not really defined yet. I have to go and get a little cheat sheet thingy going on. Full site editor settings. The important settings for me are the layout width, so the viewport width, the block spacing to 0, we just done that, and the width settings, none, wide, full width. The inner blocks use content width enables, basically means that the content uses the width from the global settings or the container type block when used. Container type block is like your group block, your columns blocks, your cover block, anything that would allow you to set a width inside that block. Inner blocks use content width disabled, means that the content uses width from the parent container type block. So if you have a group inside a group or a column inside a group, then it would use the settings from the top level that has this setting enabled, if that makes any sense. Because that's what causes a lot of issues with how things line up. Now, I'm gonna go to the global styles again, back to the layout, and you can see here the content width. If I change this to 700, say, you can see that this becomes wider. So this is the none type. So you have none, wide, and full width. And this would be for none. This would be for wide. Now, I believe Kevin uses 1366 for the wide. But another option would be you have pixels, percentage, ems, rems, viewport width, and viewport height. I've started using viewport width. I'm not entirely sure if that's the best practice yet, but I like to think it is. So I use 65% viewport width, so which is the width of your entire viewpoint. And this is obviously way too high. 80%. It's a lot. Could also maybe do 75%. So what this does is, if I close a tree view, for example, or let's save it, why not? If you save, you can see all the things that you changed. Site-wise, your icon, your logo, your templates, your front page template, template parts, your footer and your header, correct? Global styles, custom styles. Yes, I want to save this. There's an option to switch it off. I don't like it. I want to see exactly what I saved. This is the default padding that your site uses. I'll leave it at 4 for now. To be honest, I don't see any difference yet. And I click here with the middle mouse button, so it opens in a new thing, and I want to see the site. This is what the site looks like. This is way too big. I don't know why that is. That's because it's an SVG. I need to mess with the settings to find out why exactly. You can also use a PNG image or something, and then it will be reliable. So you can see everything is nice and snug, but there's no padding here whatsoever. Let's go back, because there's a couple of things here. First of all, we do not want static content in our homepage. We want, this is a template. A template should not have content. A template should just show you how content should behave. So we're going to delete all of these. And instead we are going to put a content block in here. Now this content will show everything that is on the actual page itself. And if you leave this, let's see, if you disable this, it will use the width of the parent group. So right now, inner blocks use content width is disabled, so it will use the settings of the group block. The group block doesn't have any settings at the moment, except inner blocks use content width. I switch this off, you see all of a sudden it's full width. We don't want it full width. We do have a bit of an issue, and I wonder if I can fix it like this. I put it inside another group, and yes, okay. This is a bit of a hack, but it works. So I have a group, I put the group inside the group, and here you have your content. I select this group, and now I can click the wide width. Otherwise, if I want that option, I would have to set it here manually every time for every single type of block that I use. So it's a bit of a workaround, but it works. So now I have 80% width, and as you see, it lines up nicely with the header and footer. I have no idea why the group here. Oh, let's see if I can find. Yeah, this is wide width. So align wide width. That's why. And for the footer, I imagine it's the same. Columns, wide width. So if you set it to none, it becomes 65%, 65 viewport width. If you put it wide, 80 viewport width. This is what I want. So save it. I have my blueprint Gutenberg. I'm on the home page. If I do edit page, I go to the home page. I don't like using this too much, to be honest, because it's very easy to jump between either the post or the template or the page, and I don't like that. I want to, like, I have one tab per kind of thing that I work on. So a tab for the template, a tab for the page, and a tab for whatever post content. So I go to the pages, I go to the home page, and right now you see the home page is still empty. If I click here, oh shoot, my mistake. Home page, edit it. The homepage shows up like this, completely empty. This is what your homepage looks like. Homepage is still empty here, so heading, no, wrong, sorry. Shortcut, heading, if you put like a dash. This is a heading, this is a paragraph, and an image, because why not? Don't have any media in here yet. This is what the Happy Files Pro plugin does. I like this one, so I'm gonna put branding. This is a tip from Kevin. Something that I kind of did as well, but his way is nicer, so I'm using that. And this would be placeholders. So I go to instant images, And I'm just gonna, I have a touch screen, which is nice, so you might see the screen bobbing. Just get a couple, as many as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just a couple of random images. If I want a theme, I would look for a certain theme, but at this point, yeah, it's not really that relevant. There you go, pretty dark image. Not gonna mess with any of the settings here. You could change, you could mess with aspect ratio, etc., etc. I go to the page, and I set a featured image for the page. That's also possible. They have alt text by themselves, which is cool. And I'm gonna update the page. And now if I go back to my main site and just press refresh, you can see that right now this is heading, and it's all snug, very, very snug against the header itself. So there's padding inside the header, there's padding inside the footer, there's no padding inside the body context. And this is a bit of an issue. Let's see how I can best fix that. Oh, hey, I have another one here. Let's go back to Appearance, Editor, Templates, Front Page. And I can click this icon, or I can just click inside here. Block content. Inner blocks use content with. Let's see if that makes a difference. It's always a bit fidgeting with this one. So let's see if it does this. No, it doesn't do anything for the heading. Yeah, no, there's a typo. Don't care. Content width. No, let's leave that off. But I do want some padding, so, and maybe some block spacing. Dimensions, you can click here. You can get different, like minimum height and block spacing. Let's see if this does something. That's just for the individual blocks, but not for the padding, which might be in here instead. So I'm gonna do one thing at a time. One, the block spacing is too much. Let's put it to 1. Save it. Right now, if I refresh, you would see that the blocks themselves have more spacing. You know what, let's edit the page because this is a bit sloppy anyway. Update. But it still sits snug at the top and the bottom, and that is something I generally would not want. But we have this group, and the inner blocks use a content width. So it uses a setting of the group, which is set to 80% wide. But we can also set padding inside there. So we're going to do a bit of padding at the top. And I don't like padding left and right, to be honest. Because, no, I definitely don't want padding because I want everything to be flush with this. So, but padding at the top and bottom is fine. And I also don't want margins because that would create white spaces. Block spacing, it's better to put the block spacing in here. And then for the content, I would disable block spacing. Generally you want that thing at the highest possible level. So in the group rather than the content one in this case. Save it. Go to the main site, see if anything changed. You can see there's a slight bit of padding right now. And there's no longer any content spacing. There's also a bit of padding here, which is nice. But I do wonder why it's not aligned, or is it not aligned because I'm just going to open this in a new tab right now. Maybe it's just the logo. So I'm going to change this one out, replace, media library, upload, select files. We're still in the, yeah, let's use this one for now. I'll sort out the SVG thing later. This is the PNG, yep. There you go. That's more like it. Oh, that's the wrong one. Go back. This time I'm changing the footer, which I don't want. Click the wrong button. I had the reason that happened is I had the footer selected and then click on editor. You get taken to a separate view. I don't want that. I just wanted the icon, and to make sure that I have the right thing there. Let's save. You can see I changed the icon and the logo, which is fine. Go back here. I have 2 of them, right? Yes. So for this one, more tools, responsive design mode, and this one I'm just gonna refresh. And as you can see, it is not correct because the logo sits here and my content does not. Responsive mode is nice. You can see whatever the heck is going on here. Something's wrong here because maybe I need to refresh. Yeah, I need to refresh. So what to do about that? Let's find out where the mistake is, because it's just a mistake somewhere. Footer is fine. The mistake is somewhere in here. It's probably something to do with the padding. Nope. Padding is 0. Content does not have any padding. It has block spacing, which it should have. Let's save that one. Problem is most likely this. Yeah. Inner blocks use content with. So now it uses the setting of the group instead. Let's save it again. So we have a group, which is the main group. Let's rename it. Oh, I need to go here. Rename. Let's call this main content. I don't know what the correct semantics would be for this. Maybe a main block or main HTML tag or a section HTML tag, which you can set here. If you have your HTML element, by default it's a div. Here you can change it to header, main, section, etc., etc. I'm not going to fuss with that at the moment. I'm sure it would be either main or section, or at least fairly confident it would be, but I don't want to fuss with it too much because I don't know if it's correct, and it's a lot of work that, yeah, it's a lot of work. I might do that once everything is set up, then I would go through the hierarchy and make sure that everything is correct, but I'm not confident enough to make all these settings. Save it again. I just have the front page, and right now it should be more accurate. Yes. Okay, so that made it. That made it so that the width of the site is always correct between the header and the footer. Like if it's wide, it's 80% viewport width. And here you can also see it jumps right. And there's padding inside the block itself. There's block difference. No, there's no padding inside the block itself. Where is the padding again? Yeah, there's padding in the group block, which causes the content to have a bit of a distance from the gap, and there is block distance inside the content to make everything not stick together. This is a nice little standard setup. So what's next? This would be for the pages. Let's go to the articles page. Or no, rather, let's go to the test pages. I'm going to a test page. Why am I going to a test page? Because I'm going to build a query loop. But before I do that, you see that all the pages, test page use the template for pages. And I'll show you what happens there. It's a big wide field with like room for featured image, and let's go and give it a featured image. This one, this would be the featured image. Update. Let's go to the articles again. No, which one did I have? Oh, test page. Bam, test page and a featured image block. So if I would go to the site editor again, I'm still on the templates. You can see you have pages. This is the template used. Click to change it. Now I can change this as well, but first let's see the structure. So we have a whole group here, which has a spacer, a title, another spacer, and then a featured image. Why would I want to use this? I can do this in a slightly more elegant way, I think. It's easy for sure, it's just that I prefer it to not do this solution. So content block is basically set up and it's locked, so you can't move it. I don't like the current setting, so I'm going to unlock it, lock and deselect. And the reason why is because I want it to move. I will look it later. I'll move it in here as well, and then with these arrows I move it one down. You can put it in there as well, and then from within the group block. Why do I not have? There you go. That should be it. No, that is not it. This is set to full width. Oh no, to none. Damn it. Group. Content width. Yeah, that doesn't make a difference anymore. Okay, that does it. So inner blocks use content width, enable that, and then you can get this one, set it to wide width, and then no, they should not use the content width, they should use the width of the container themselves. There, that should make a difference. And then for the group itself, we are going to put some padding in. And why is there so much space in between here? Maybe I have block spacing. Nope. But I'm sure if I set that, I get like a nice... Oh no, I know what it is. I know why that is. Margin. Let's remove any of the margins that it has. I don't like to keep margins at the item level. I like to keep margins and paddings as high as possible. That basically makes everything a bit cleaner, I think. So if I want space between the blocks, I would use block spacing rather than margins and paddings in the individual blocks. So block spacing of 2. I don't get why the title is so flush with this. This one, content block, has no margin either, so featured image. Maybe because I set these specifically to 0. That could be it. Title has anything of padding? No. Margin set? No. So yeah, I don't understand why. This is one of those nuisances in Gutenberg that I don't like at the moment. And let's do another thing. No, featured image is only like this. Let's change the featured image, or rather let's add a different block. And that will be the cover block. And the reason I'm bringing up the cover block is because it's sort of like the featured image. I don't know what the code/semantic difference would be here. And right title, I'm just gonna rename this to title, which is a and then it's a heading 2, align at center. This is heading 1, I think. Yeah. So this title, let's also make it a heading 1, so it's the same. And now you can see that the block distance is actually correct. So maybe I can delete these two, but we'll see later. This is a featured image. It's a cover, and you can set the width here. Oh no, why not? No. Okay, dang. The way to do that would be this one maybe. No, and you get that crap again. Full width, and then it's full width to the container it's in. So that's a problem. And I want this to be none, and then I want this to be the full 80%. Damn it. Which means that this one needs to be here, I guess. And from here, I can put it full width. Well, it works. It's a little bit not what I had in mind, unfortunately. You know what? This is going to be messy, but I'm going to leave this in for now just to see what it looks like. Save it. Save the pages template. So now every single page, this is also why you shouldn't really mess with the main pages. But every single page will have a featured will have a cover with a featured image. We'll have a title. Let's go back to the test page because that's where we have something. We'll have the featured image. We'll have a featured image cover, which lines up nicely. And this does not automatically. It should be white because of the contrast, but featured images don't tend to use that. It's if you have a static image, then it will automatically jump to the appropriate contrast. So that's a bit of a nuisance. But there are other ways to do that. So let's, for now, delete the cover because I don't really want that in here. And I don't want, actually I do want the title, but I don't want a featured image. And this would be more appropriate, I guess. Right. Test page. I'm going to edit the test page. And what am I going to do here? I'm going to add a query loop block. Query loop. I'm going a bit too fast actually. Not really. Gonna choose a template and I'm gonna leave it at that for a moment because I'm gonna create a card, and not that one, this one. This is a good one. It has a lot of stuff in it, a lot of stuff I don't need. I'm gonna update it just for now, and I'm gonna go out of it because first I need to put some content in my custom posts. I haven't done that yet. Articles, add a new article. Article 1, that's a title. Some article 1 text, image, wrong one, image, media library. I don't want all, I just want the, yeah, I'm gonna fix that in a sec as well. This is an item. Add a gallery. Why am I adding a gallery? You'll see in a sec. Because I didn't put these files in the right folder yet. Now I can select them all and I can just drag them to placeholders. Then we'll go to placeholders and I deselect all of them. Or select one, that's fine too. Create new gallery, because you'll see what happens. I don't want a caption. Oh, I didn't create one. That's great. That's actually precisely what I wanted, because I was going to delete it anyway. Okay, so I have an image in here. I'm going to the article and I'm going to set a featured image, and I'm going to make sure that's a different one than what's in the article, so you can troubleshoot if you set a wrong one somewhere. I'm going to create another one, article 2, article 2 text, and image again, media library. I'm starting to run out of images, so no, not yet. Next one. Alright, now I'm going back to the article itself, which is the custom post you have, and then I'm going to the featured image, choose this one, and I'm going to hit publish again, and I'm going to add a new article. Article 3, article 3 text. Whoops. And why not? Let's do some lorem text here. This is a lot. I wonder if this actually creates, yeah, it puts it in a single. Oh no, they're different articles. So this one, blah blah. Delete. Spacing is not very nice. Let's just see what it does anyway. View the article. Blah 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 blah. I don't like that there's no spacing, so I'm gonna do something I don't generally do. I'm gonna edit the site. Single post. So now I'm in the single post template. And I don't generally recommend doing this, to be honest. No block selected. Here. Block spacing. I would create it. You know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to cancel this. Going to go out of here. Create a new template. You can choose a lot of options here. But the thing is, if you choose those. Oh, single item article. Let's do that. So for the custom post type article, you would create this template, all articles for all items, and a template would be this one. For this stuff I don't want to start from scratch because it's, well, everything in here, you've got like comments, your rows and all that stuff. You might want to use that, so I leave that in by default. What I am going to do is change the settings that dictate the viewport width. So There you go, that's full width. I don't want that. If I switch this off, can I? No. Let's switch that off here. Use content width. And I should have an option here to go for the wide, which is what I want. And the blocks use content width. No, they use that one. This group has a stack. Featured image is fine. The stack is not. Why is the stack not? Oh, post meta. Inside the post meta is another group. And that other group is another row. And that row needs to be wide. This is a bit of a pain. And you have to do this for everything. But yeah, basically you have to do that one. And no, this is a mistake. The content should be full width. This should be wide as well. And then all the groups within it should be wide. Tags is not wide. Why is tags not wide? Because of the inner blocks use content width. So now, bam, everything is 80% width. Content block. I hope that plays nice. Let's go back to the article. So view the article. And unfortunately it didn't do what I wanted it to, and that is because no, I don't want that. Edit the article. It still uses, okay. Let's give it a featured image as well. Instant. Let's put, I don't know, travel. Why not? A lot of travel photos. Let's select a bunch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, damn it. That's a shame. Let's do some more. Wasn't quick enough, I guess. That is weird and sort of annoying. Let's do this image again then. It is a good habit to group everything, but at this level it shouldn't. You shouldn't have to do that. Let's just after this one, let's put a random image in as well. And this time let's just select one. Okay, no idea why it's not working. Too bad. Let's update, view the article, close some of the other ones out. So it shows a featured image at the top, which is okay, not that great. And then the actual content could use block spacing. Let's save that. Let's see the article again, renew. And we have a bit of block spacing at the content level, but it is not 80% wide, which is what I want to have. Let's go to the responsive part again. Test page. Ah, there's our first something. And here's nothing yet because I haven't made a query to show that up yet. Oh, the link doesn't work yet. Added article. Go for the article. Is it use single template ID? Add a template. Yes. Get rid of that. This is what it should be. Or is it? I don't think so. Content is full width now, so it uses full width plus the padding that's enabled in the global styles, I think. Yeah, I don't think this is what I want, but I'm gonna have a look at it. Yeah, this is not what I want, and the reason it's not what I want is because it uses the padding from the global styles. So if I were to go to edit site again, which lets me go, let's just do it here. No, come on. Basically what I want to get is this one, the global styles. If I go to global styles, layout, and I increase this, you can see that the content, yeah, the block spacing, that's where the gutter is determined. The padding, I mean. The global padding determines the gutter. I don't want that. How do I fix it? Well, you might want this, but I don't really want that here. So I would need to group the content, I guess. This group is fine. This group is fine. This is not, but I can group it. And no, I can't group it because I need to unlock it first. There you go. Group. And now the group I can set to the wide width. And now I can lock this again if I want. And yeah, I want to lock it. And now it should work, because now it should take, I don't need this one anymore. Don't need this one anymore. Yeah, leave page. This is a single article. Right now the article lines up. And again, no padding. And that is because no block spacing. Okay, now we have something that we might want. Sort of. I don't like, obviously the layout is not so great. I don't want a featured image here at the top with this huge amount of spacing, and I might want all of this different, but yeah. You would tweak this however you want it, obviously. Like this whole group featured image and the stack. You could sort of delete that, or at least the featured image, and then you would put this, let's delete this, I don't need it. Or move the featured image. Move it in here. And give it a aspect ratio, let's put 16:9. Can I do smaller? No, 16:9, whatever. And this one, I'm guessing, has a lot of padding again, which I don't want. I hate so much padding. Probably this group as well. Yeah, a lot of padding at the top and bottom. And it has margins. I'm not a fan of margins. Why am I not a fan of margins? Well, let's show you real quick. Give a group a background color. Bam. Actually, you can't really see it like this. I need to give this a color too. This one, background color. Make it gray, why not? It's nice and snug, as it is now. I go back for this group, and I'm gonna give it a margin. What happens now? Bam, you've got this white space between it, which you don't want. If you want like images, backgrounds, etc., you do not want margins. So I'm gonna set the margin back to 0, and I'm gonna remove the background image. Same for the comments group. I don't want a background color. So right now I am editing the single item article, so the template for the single item or the post type article. Okay, I'm gonna go out of here. I have 3 articles. Close this, I don't need it. I can keep this and I can keep this, because this is my responsive view and this is my normal view. Test page shows a unfinished query. Services, projects, home. Home shows your home page. Contacts shows your default page template. Blog, this is your default blog template, which doesn't really have anything in it, except here at the bottom it has a query loop. This is a good one to use for products and services, for example. If you have a whole list and you could add an image or a small description, whatever. Let's move on. I'm gonna go back to my cheat sheet real quick. I don't think I have a lot more cheat sheet thingies, but I'm gonna continue building this out a little bit. The card, basically, yes. Cards, pages. Go out of here. If you click this icon, you should go back to your main dashboard. Pages, articles, I still want to see this. These are my custom posts for articles. I can do more for the other ones. You know what, let's make a few for services, because services is something that will display a little bit different. Service 1. Let's get some lorem text in here. And again, I will need to edit the single post template. Damn it. So again, appearance. I'm just gonna quickly create templates for all of these. So a plus. If I want a template for pages, I would go for a custom template, because a custom template you can apply to any page, anything. And if you go for pages, it only applies to one page, which I don't want. For the archives, for these single items are basically for all your posts, so that's useful. For pages, I would use custom template. This case, I want to create one for the service, which would be a copy of this one, almost. And I'm going to choose this template again, because I do sort of like it. And change/fix the same kind of issues that I had before. So I'm going to unlock this. Bam. And I'm going to group it. Bam. What grouping allows me to do in this case is set the, first I'm going to change inner blocks use content width, and then I can change each group block to be wide. This one also to be, instead of full screen, I want it to be wide. In some cases, for your template, you want it to be full screen. For example, if you have an image, cover image that you want all the way to the edges. Maybe I'll do that later. Not gonna fidget too much about it in here. I'm gonna remove some of the ridiculously large padding though. And margins, I don't like margins at all. But I do want some padding in general. So you click here and you get all your paddings. So there you go. A little bit of padding in both. Content block. Disable this so you get the full 80%. And I want block spacing. And for the group itself, I want to have padding as well. The problem now is that you don't get a gap. You get like a double padding. So I could also go to this group. If that's something you'd be concerned with, you can do it individual. So for the top it's off, for the bottom it's on. This way you have the same kind of padding. It's a bit of a hassle, but this is how you can do it if you want to. Or maybe you can do it at the root level and have like your block spacing in here. That might be something to look into. For this, in block use content width, and basically you're set with that. Same thing here. Do I have, oh no, yeah, this group has a ridiculous amount of padding. And again, margin, which I don't want. You know what, let's add a cover image instead. And the cover will be here. It will be full width, and it will be the featured image. And I'm not going to put anything in there. I'm going to remove this. And I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. And I'm just going to remove the featured image. And this featured image by default has an opacity of 50. Don't want that. I want like 20, maybe 10%. Let's use this. We use this for the service. Okay. You can go back a lot of steps using this button, or you can go straight back to the dashboard using this. We go back to, now we are already here, services. Let's publish it, publish, and close this one out, and single item service. Close this one out. Go back to not the posts, but the services. Add new service. Service 2. Go for the lorem ipsum. There we go. Block has encountered an error that cannot be previewed. Which block exactly? Let's delete it then. It's just a test paragraph anyway. Let's add an image in here. Media library. Let's hope I can actually upload an image this time around. Let's do this one. No. Oh, hang on. Yeah, it can. That's why these others didn't show up. I was in the wrong folder. Let's also give it a featured image. Publish. And it used the correct template already. Single item service. Give this one a featured image. Let's get that out of the way. Let's copy and paste some lorem ipsum. Delete. Let's put a gallery in here. Why a gallery? Yeah, a couple of reasons. One, I can move all of these up to here, back in the placeholder, and from here I don't need so many. Yeah, 4 would be fine. Caption 1, caption 2, caption 3, caption 4. Insert. I'm not gonna fiddle with the gallery settings too much. I'm sure you can have all kinds of spacing, and yeah, you can have. Ta-da! Not gonna do that. Just leave it as is by default. And it is full width, or none, sorry. You can obviously group stuff here and do the same trick like 80% or full width, etc. I have 3 services, let's make it 4 because I want this one to be more of a list. Lorem. Let's delete the last block. Let's give it a featured image. Let's add a normal image. I have duplicates now, I don't really care too much at this point. 4 services is plenty. Now, going back to my pages and the test page. Oh, test page. Why test page? Well, we were working on a query loop here. So For starters, query loop does not inherit query from template. It picks a article instead. And I like to use oldest to newest. I also don't like the featured image. Let's go over, actually before I do anything more, let's create a basic group. Let's do it like this, and inside the group we create another group, also like this. We create one more group inside. Let's just duplicate it here actually. Duplicate. So we can rename this card group. This would be card header. This would be your card footer. Shoot, I made a group inside. Oh, that's fine, I need one anyway. No, I don't. Maybe I do. Let me figure that one out in a minute. Rename this one will be card. Oh, shoot. I renamed the second one wrong. Card footer. This one should be cards body or card main. So inside here you would put your featured image, and you want this one to be full width because I want a featured image in here. Featured image. This would be the main structure. So inside here you would have I don't know entirely. Let's say this is your query group. So let's rename it like this. Rename query group. Save. Post templates, it's set to grid layout, and you can set the amount of columns here, like 4, 3. I like to keep, not 5. You have a featured image inside there, which has padding. I don't like padding for that. Aspect ratio, I like to keep it more like this, or 4:3. If you set the height and width, it's more likely to, even if you put like viewport width, it's more likely to break. If you use the aspect ratio, even the default ones, well, yeah, less chance that stuff will break. Something I am curious about with the featured image is actually, I don't see a radius here, so that must be set somewhere in the global styles probably. Let's see if I have access to global styles somewhere. Edit side in a new tab. I don't care. That's an inconvenience. Every time go to that selector first. I want to go straight here. So individual blocks. Let's find the featured image. Here you go. There's no radius set. We have a style book here. Just a little button. Media, image, gallery, cover. Why in this, in the design maybe, theme, widgets, buttons, I don't see why my featured image has a rounded corner as a radius. Close the style book, close this tab. I don't need it. Let's go back to the test page. It's annoying, but let's leave it at that. I don't need a spacer here. Can delete that. We have a stack here, which is fine, I guess. There's a lot of stuff in there. Inside the post template, I want to create another group. let's just make it, no, let's undo that. I'm going to duplicate this to get a little bit the same structure as. So I'm going to rename this. This will be the card header. This will be the card body. And this will be the card footer. Yeah, should have all capitals or not, but whatever. So now that I've put it in the header, you see instantly I have spacing here, which I don't want. So I'm going to disable this. Inner blocks use content width. So now the user content width of the parent. This stack here, most items would go in the body. Is that correct? Row your boat gently downstream. Title would definitely go in the card body. Let's just put the exit also goes in the card body. Card body, I said. And the card body uses content width. Everything uses content width. And this stack would go in the card footer. Come on. More or less. Not completely, but more or less. Inner blocks use content width, and the whole query group itself. No, the post template. Is this correct? I think I can do it at this level. Maybe I can even do it at the post template level. But everything here right now is grouped, and the reason I'm doing that, and again, inner blocks use content width, disable that, is so that I can give them a background. The reason I give them a background is so that you can, well, basically you have your card things. Card footer, that's, I don't want the spacer anyway. Delete the spacer. Pagination, I don't want that in the query either, so I'll remove that. This is fine, this is less fine. Probably this group again. Yeah, that's better. Also, I don't want the categories. Delete the categories. You can keep the offer, but generally you wouldn't need this, do you? Delete. Maybe you want to keep the date. But maybe you don't. Maybe you just want to keep the excerpt. Let's go the maximum number of words. Let's make that down a little bit. Like down a lot actually. 20 is enough. What if I want, can I lock the group so it's always a certain height? Minimum height. I don't like that idea, to be honest. I don't like the idea of it being in pixels, but let's just for testing. No, I don't want minimum height, I want maximum height, I guess. No. Yeah, I want maximum height. So let's delete that. That's not what I need. Block spacing, I do want some block spacing, and for the card body I want some padding, most notably left and right. Maybe the same for the card footer. I also want a bit of padding. The reason I don't put padding in the main group, so let's just call this, rename this to be card. Is because I want the featured image to be full width, and I'm also going to set the radius, and unfortunately pixels, I guess. Ah shit, I got the wrong one. Oh, pardon my language. This one 20, I guess. Yeah. Now for the card footer, also gonna give padding. This is a bit much, so let's, I can actually delete that, I guess. Card footer would be empty. It's not 100% correct or clean, I guess. Let's see, I don't want this here for sure. Let's get the stack at the bottom of the body. Yeah, it should be in the footer. It should be in the footer. And then this stack probably has padding settings, which I don't want. Can change this to a group actually. Don't need another stack. Delete this one. So many rows and groups. Margin, that's why. And block spacing was set. I don't like that. Did I have a minimum spacing? Minimum height? No, I didn't. Okay. Right now I'm just mucking about more than anything, to be honest. And I believe I can actually get stuff out of there. Delete this one. Rename that card footer. And I'm gonna delete the post meta because I don't want the date in there. There you go. Let's update it, save it. And this whole thing combined. Let's see, what is this here? Oh, that's a card group. This thing I can delete. Don't need it for sure. This whole group, I'm going to create a palette from it. It's not going to be synced, and I'm going to name this cards 1, category cards, create. So now we have that. Let's update it, why not? I'm gonna go to my pages. Let's go to the articles page. It is empty. I'm going to add a block. I'm gonna choose patterns, cards, cards 1. Now you see I have my cards in here. A query loop block that is custom, that's basically a custom made card block. If I want more or less items, I would go to the post template and I would choose more or less here. And I can tweak it, like for sure I don't want to have, oh yeah I do, because this is the article one. So I'm updating the page, I can view the page, and it is a full 80% width, 80% width. And you can see the rounding is not a full 20 pixel, maybe it's 21, 22. There's a small mistake here. Test page here, same thing, go to the articles. But the scaling is correct, and it still uses the wrong page template itself to display everything. That's why there's a huge gap here. Go to the page itself. It uses the pages template. Did I make a new one yet? No, I didn't. Let's just do that. Appearance editor, templates. Click on pages. I want to see it. I want to see this template. Okay, that's weird. I already changed it, so why is it not propagating through the site? Any weird padding and margin here? No. This is something I don't particularly like, that you have to hunt all of this down. Block spacing 2, let's make it 1. Maybe 2 was too much. Nope, there's still a huge amount of padding. I'm guessing that's actually within the pattern I made, not in the yeah. Oh, and this is the article. Not so bad. It's basically the full width. Let's go here. Article 3 stays nicely within this 80% view width, which is nice. I am a bit wondering why the heck there's so much spacing. I am guessing that it is because of the actual block itself, that I forgot to. That's one thing about using all these pre-made templates. It's not a lot of fun that they will. Come on. Block, query loop. I definitely don't want that. No results, paragraph, query loop, query group. Ah, that's why you got, yeah, you got a huge amount of padding. You don't want that. So update, and now if I go back to this site, there you go. That's much better. And yeah, you would have enough text here, and then you would always get this. It's a bit of a hack, but if you have just 1 line or 2 lines, you can tweak the size of the characters in your excerpt so that the cards would always be the same, would display the same amount of text. You can click on the image, can click on this, and that's what you can click on. And then I could do the same for, because we've done this page now. Let's go to, did we add projects yet? No, we didn't. Should. Doesn't matter. Let's go to services. What I should really do is change the template first. So I go back to appearances, damn it. Appearance, patterns, cards. Change this one. My stomach is acting up. Getting hungry, I guess. Query group. Bam. Take away the padding here. Save. There you go. Go back here. Go to pages. Where is it? Where is it? Projects. I don't have any projects to display yet. Let's fix that. Projects. That's project 1. Let's add an image. Okay, that's not what I was after at all. Let's delete the paragraph. I don't want a paragraph like that. Damn. Copy from plain text. Bam. 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 Single post. Ah, this is not fun. Let's update it anyway. Let's add an image somewhere here. Basically, what I have to make sure to do is to make a template for each and every single custom post type. So, appearance, editor, templates, new template, single item project for all projects. use this one again. And yeah, this is a bit annoying, I have to do that. And it's basically going to be the same for all of them. So group, there you go, 80% width, 80% width. Anything here that doesn't have 80% width yet? 80% width, separator. Hey, I didn't do that at the first one, so I'm missing something here. This one, that's why. So see, I made a few mistakes already. The separator does not need to have this set. Okay. Now we need to do the content block still. Content block, we have to unlock it. If we don't do that, we use a padding from the global settings, but I wanted to use the same padding as the one that we set up earlier, so no, that's not it. There you go. There you go. Now, I'm not going to bother too much with all the padding, etc. that I have to probably set for each and every single block. Yeah. Get rid of the margins for every one of them. Group. Probably also padding, yeah. Get rid of the margins. Maybe one margin. Why not? Okay. This is getting a bit messy, isn't it? Nothing here yet because I haven't added the query loop yet. So you can see nothing here except the paragraph, so I'm going to go for pattern again, cards, and this time because I edited the cards template rather than the card pattern. Right now, all I have to do in the query loop is change this from article to projects. And there's only one project yet, so let's update that. Projects, new project, project 2. Give it a featured image. Yeah, let's make this one. There. This is getting long. I have no idea how long I've been doing this, so I'm probably gonna stop it real soon. Because I think by now the main thing is done. Project 1, 2, and 3. Also responsive-ish, and you would set the excerpt setting as well. So let's go back to the card group, card body, excerpt. 20 might be a bit much. Let's make it 10. Right, let's try again. Oh, this is what you see in the columns, the featured images. I'm sure you can have some kind of a... yeah, no, not sure. Never mind. Project 3, there you go. Still need obviously to set the spacing, which I didn't do most likely. And let's remove this. So appearance, editor. This is something I don't like, that you're jumping back and forth so much. Single project. yada yada. I don't want it to load. Well, I do want it to load obviously, but I want to jump straight there. I don't want to go all the way to there. Block spacing, save. And now if I refresh this, we should have spacing. Yeah. So it's kind of messy at the moment. I do hope it gave you a bit of an idea of how, I mean, these are the basic steps. After this, you would change the menu to only show the items that you're interested in. You would get rid of the colors and put only the colors that you want. You can make group blocks sticky, so that would stick. And yeah, in this way you could make a fairly responsive website. I'm gonna do one more thing. I'm gonna take out all the items that I for sure wouldn't want to see in the navigation menu. So edit site, front page. Go in, you see the front page template here. I'm going to edit the header, and inside the header I'm going to edit the navigation. The reason I do this last is because by default you got a page list, and I like a page list because it automatically, now I have to detach it, and now it's a manual thing, but if you have it as a page list, it automatically puts in all the pages, which is very nice for development, for me anyway. So I would delete the home page, I would delete the blog page because I certainly don't use those two pages. I would delete the test page. I would probably delete testimonial page, or I would group it under something else. And then I could reshuffle these, like projects would go more here, or articles would go first. Articles would go first, about would go a bit over there, and services would something like this. Then all I did was change the navigation, so then this should automatically, boom, there you go. I think that's it. I forgot one kind of important thing. So you've made your site nice and all that stuff. You made a template. You have your custom post types, you have your template set up, you have all your pages, you've got your medium. The one thing you haven't done yet is, because you did it locally, export to file. So then it would prepare to export, download it, bam, download it. As soon as it's done downloading, close this, and then you would go to your local hosting, which I have here. I already set it up. This is also a vanilla WordPress site. What you need to make sure in here is that you get rid of everything you don't want to keep. So bulk, delete, because everything that you already have on your site is going to stay on your site. So your pages, I'm not sure you can delete everything. Just keep your privacy page. Why not? Delete. Titles, well, it's just, you're not really using this one, so that's not a big deal anyway. From here we're only gonna add one plugin, which is the all-in-one. Install it. Activate it. Go here. Don't want to export, I want to import. Alright. Import from file, downloads, and here you go. Print Gutenberg 1 local, open it. It's going to import. Just wait for it to run. Don't click away. This is a bit annoying, unfortunately. Press keep going, because it will override anything, which is fine, which is what we want. Save permalink structure. Click this. And the reason I'm doing this is that, oh shit. Should be fine. You just want to save the permalinks to be sure that you're in sample post. You don't need to change anything because it should be like this by default, but if you update it, then you're at least sure that all your links and structures will still work. So there you go. Now your site is live and on your service provider. I haven't gotten around to services yet, but it's basically the same as articles and projects. I would just use a different query loop layout, like a list type setting, instead of a card one. Alright, now I hope you did get some value out of this, and yeah, thumbs if you liked it, and subscribe if you love it, in the words of another YouTuber. But yeah, I did hope you get some value out of this.